Fans have been waiting eagerly for the start of IPL 2021. Siddharth and I have also been checking out updates and waiting for any news that we can get for the season to get back on its way. And we have some good news for you today. We think that might be a case. Hello and welcome everybody to Trade Stars Cricket Diaries, episode 3. I'm Lakshya Malhotra and I have with me from Cricket Cult Siddharth. And the good news is that we think that there is speculation that we think that the last test match might be cancelled to resume IPL 2021. What do you think, Sid?
So I don't think till now that has come in the conversation. It is definitely an option, but I have mixed reviews about this. I think, Lakshay, what could be done is that the whole series or probably the last test match could be preponed by a week so that there is more elbow room for Sourav Ganguly and Jay Shah and Brajesh Patel to complete the IPL in September before the World T20. And I feel like Ganguly and Jay Shah going to England for the World Test Championship finals, the real agenda is to meet the who's who of ECB and make the schedule. But what I would really not want to see is a shortening of the India-England Test series. Look, I'm a huge fan of the IPL, as you know, and it is a huge brand. It is a huge loss if it's not if they're not able to complete it this year. But for me, preponing is a better option than shortening the series, Lakshay.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be disappointing for the fans who've been waiting for Test cricket to get back on its way and seeing their international players and their country players play for their teams. But let's see, September is some time from now, and we'll hope for the best. The last two episodes just about the Trade Stars performers of the season for various teams, and today we'll be looking back at the Trade Stars assets and investments made by various teams over the course of the IPL, teams that have picked players and invested in them.
So Lakshay, you spoke about investment. It again cast my mind back to the Trade Stars fantasy platform, because isn't that what it's all about? So, you know, the uniqueness about this fantasy platform as compared to the others are that you don't have to pick a group of players, or you don't have to pick 11 players from every match. You could just back one player for the whole series, or you could back 3 players for the whole series. So it is more player centric than a group of player centric. You're not bound by that. And the other important thing is, you know, like in cricket, even if your team loses, you can stand to become the man of the match. Here, even if the team you support loses, like in our case, India, we could still stand to gain money. If the fantasy stock that we have invested on in the Trade Stars platform, right? If that particular player does well and the stock rises, stock value rises, then we'll be good.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's a great platform for people who like to invest in one player, and then this unique platform gives them the opportunity to earn a lot of money. And so the teams that we'll be discussing today are 4 teams, which are Royal Challengers from Bangalore, the Punjab Kings, Delhi Capitals, and the Mumbai Indians. And so I think we'll start with the team that necessarily hasn't really done well in the IPL. I mean, they've changed their names and it may or may not work for them. So far, it hasn't. But I don't think they've had that one season where they can look and say, okay, I think we are competitors for the trophy, maybe apart from 2014. What do you think about the Punjab Kings, Siddharth?
So again, look, it is a continuation of my point about the beauty of this Trade Star platform. See, now Punjab as a team, probably the 8 existing teams, their performance cumulatively has been the worst, right? But still, it's not like the team hasn't benefited, or the team's brand value hasn't gone up, or the players and the investments associated with them, they haven't gone on to do better things in life because of the platform provided. And that is the beauty of the IPL, right? So let's take an example of someone like Shaun Marsh. He's not even an Indian name. Shaun Marsh was the Orange Cap winner in 2008 in the inaugural season of the IPL for the erstwhile Kings 11 Punjab team, right? And that opened the doors for him for the Australian team. So the Kings 11 Punjab management invested on him. The Australian selectors saw him as an asset, right? And they inculcated him in their team, and he's been a decent performer for Australia. Not the most consistent, but at least it gave them an option, right? Now you look at someone like a KL Rahul. KL Rahul was almost an established brand, maybe not as much as he is now, but when surprisingly RCB did not retain him and Punjab got him for a whopping amount of 11 crores on in IPL 2018, then he went on to become the captain in IPL 2019. Now they haven't necessarily done really well under him, but you and me both can't deny that his fantasy stock value has soared. So if you and I both had invested in him, even in as late as 2018, we would have had many more gains than losses, right? Now let's look at a different example, like Akshar Patel. Now he is someone who benefited because of the platform provided to him. He was nowhere in the India scene. He might be doing really well in first class cricket and list A career, but the process of becoming an India contender was expedited because of his great performance in the IPL. You can't deny that. So, sometimes you invest on those youngsters and they go on to do better things. You could even take an example of Sandeep Sharma. Now, Sandeep Sharma was a household name when under Unmukh Chand, India won the Under-19 World Cup in 2012. And then his performance was consistent for Punjab, but he was never a household name. Like he ceased to be a household name, but it was the IPL and his great performance in the IPL that today we are talking about him. So, that is what this platform does to you, both Trade Stars and IPL. Talking about the least performing team to the most performing team, what are your thoughts on Mumbai Indians and their journey and their stars, so to speak?
I think Mumbai Indians have made some really good investments. I think the first name that probably comes to mind is Hardik Pandya, because I remember in 2015, Hardik Pandya was picked for 10 lakhs. And I think the conversation going around at that point of time is that he could probably be a big hitter, but his stats weren't something that jumped off the page. And even the first season, I think his average was 4 and he picked up 3 wickets. So I don't think he fulfilled the role of the all-rounder. And even in the next season, he picked up 2-3 wickets at the same way. But I think Mumbai Indians really backed Hardik Pandya. They said, look, we're going to have faith in you. We've seen you play and we know you can play the big shots. You're an amazing fielder and you can pick up those wickets. So we're going to back you. And today he picks up 14 wickets and scores 250 plus 3 runs in a season. And we know how great a fielder he is. So I think Hardik Pandya is definitely another investment. I think another one picked off from the same auction the same year is Jasprit Bumrah. I think Jasprit Bumrah has been a wonderful asset for the Mumbai Indians, because the air around, or the conversation at that time was that there's a bowler who got Tendulkar out, and like there's a bowler who has this weird action that batsmen aren't able to pick, and that's the only thing anybody knew about Jasprit Bumrah until he burst out to the scene and got Virat Kohli out and started getting international players out, and then everybody started talking about Bumrah, and Mumbai really showed faith in him and backed him. Even though he had I think half a season or one season where he didn't perform, and I think that's when Mumbai Indians saw the fruit of their investment, when today Jasprit Bumrah is one of the most deadliest bowlers in the world. Coming down to another player, I think that's been really good for the Mumbai Indians is Kieron Pollard. I think Kieron Pollard is that player who makes those small contributions in the seasons, and then those contributions really show their effect. Whether it's fielding, whether it's bowling and, on slow pitches, getting those 3-4 wickets, or, playing that one innings when the team is down and out. I think even this season, we've seen when the team needed 127 or 47 balls, and he actually got them with a ball to spare. So I think Kieron Pollard is definitely another investment. I think Mumbai Indians have so many players that every player is an investment. I mean, come to think of it, Malinga has been one of the best bowlers in the IPL. The stats show it all. He is the leading wicket taker of the IPL, despite the fact that he's still not even playing in the IPL, because he's taken so many wickets over the years that it's very tough for anybody to catch up with him. So I think even though he had a belly and he had his age issues, they had faith in him, and Mumbai Indians won the trophy in 2019 because of that slower ball. So I think Malinga is a great investment. But so Mumbai Indians is then the most successful team. But what about the follow team? What about Virat's army? What do you think about the Royal Challengers from Bangalore and their seasons in IPL?
Before we get on to RCB, I think those the list of those 4 names you mentioned from Mumbai Indians, wow, amazing. I think Lakshay, it's safe to say that the Mumbai Indians scout would do really well in the TradeStars fantasy platform, wouldn't they?
Definitely.
but
I don't think Ambani needs more money.
No. So coming back to RCB, right? As you rightly said, the most followed team on, at least on social media, and I'm sure the most followed team, right? So Lakshay, there are 2 types of players in the IPL. One who have made the IPL the brand it is, and the others who have been made by the brand that IPL is. So like, and when I say made the IPL, I mean they have contributed in making this tournament being such a great success. So RCB is a perfect example. Like, I'll throw 3 names at you: Chris Gayle, Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers. Now, AB de Villiers, let's start with AB de Villiers. He was released by the Delhi Daredevils. I don't know what they used to do at that time. Why did they ever release someone like AB de Villiers? But they did. And RCB caught hold of him. They invested all their capital in him, right? And look at the results that he's giving. They may not have won, but there is a reason. He's one of the 2 reasons why they're the most followed team in the IPL. You talk about Captain Kohli. Now, yeah, we all know Captain Kohli became a superstar and RCB has greatly benefited from him. But you look at the investments and the calls that they've made, they decided to retain him in 2010 when he wasn't even after 2010, when he wasn't even a regular India member. Like, he was an India member, but like they made that call, they retained him, right? And they showed their faith, and look at the return on investment. I'm sure half the brands come to RCB because of Kohli's face. So it's not just about winning titles, right? You look at Chris Gayle. Chris Gayle, just for $560,000, which is like probably 4.7 crores. Now, it is good money, but it's not Chris Gayle type money that he got. He was an injury replacement in 2011. He came after 4-5 games, won the orange cap that year, won the orange cap next year, and forced them to the final in, I think, 2012 or 11, or maybe both. I'll have to check that. But these guys made RCB the brand that it is. Now I'll give you a converse example. Yuzvendra Chahal, the lanky leg spinner from Mumbai Indians, he was bought for, I think, 10 lakh, and then and now he's India's lead spinner and RCB's most trusted bowler. So that is the game, right? You invest on stars to increase your own value, and then you invest in talent to increase their value, which would in effect benefit you. So it's fascinating to talk about this topic. So which team have you got next, Lakshay?
So the next team for us is the Delhi Capitals. And okay, I think that Delhi Capitals is the perfect team to talk about, because Delhi Capitals have like 2 sides to one coin and have 2 parts of the story. The first part is their season 2015 and prior to that, and then like their journey post that. I think they've changed their logo, they've changed their name, they've changed everything, and Parth Jindal's like, we're going to try everything. And once he found the recipe, I think he stuck to it. The team before 2015, I think, were science students in 10th or 11th grade who don't know the meaning of investment, and who just have trial and error and see what works, what doesn't work. And I think the management has matured later on, because I think exactly like you said, why would you let AB de Villiers go, right? So I think they've made those mistakes. But if I had to pick players from the Delhi Capitals, I would start with Shreyas Iyer. So I'm going to post my analysis on Shreyas Iyer post like 2015 when they got him, because I think they got him for 260 lakhs, and I think there were a lot of eyebrows raised because someone who's strike rate of an 84 and who's played only 3 matches was picked up for that money and then backed later on when he just scored 50-60 runs in the season. Goes to show that there's something that the Delhi Capitals saw in him and they chose to back him. And then he went from 200 runs to 300 runs to 500 runs in one season in 2019 and 2020, which is a clear indication of how like investing in assets and like waiting and being patient and having that that sort of mindset can necessarily give you those goals that you want. Another one that comes to mind is Rishabh Pant. I think everybody, when they saw Rishabh Pant in the Under-19 World Cup, said that he's going to be, going to be the next Sehwag, or going to be this next destructive batsman who can, take apart any bowling lineup. But I think he didn't necessarily perform the way Delhi Capitals wanted in the first season. Then he went on to scoring 600 runs for them and smashing Bumrah for 20 plus runs in 1 year. And then the Delhi Capitals realized that they have something for the future. They have someone who's going to make it to the India team and who's going to be great investment for them. And definitely, if Trade Stars was there that time, I would have definitely bought his stock. The first, being a Delhi Capital fan and seeing him hit Bumrah like that, I would have done that for sure. So he's a keeper, he's a batsman, and he's a really good finisher. And now he's the he's the captain of the Delhi Capitals. And so I think it's a great investment. I think I'm going to pick another investment, but another asset for the Delhi Capitals. But he's someone who was there in the team, then was let go, and then now is now in the team again. One of the most experienced campaigners in the IPL, and that's Amit Mishra. So I think Amit Mishra is a great investment. People say that we should invest in the youth and we should invest in the future of Indian cricket or any other cricketing board. But I think Amit Mishra is that bowler on a slow wicket is very, very difficult to play. We've seen that, like how he ripped apart the Mumbai Indians batting lineup, where he got 4 wickets in 2 overs. And we know how experienced he is because he's the one who's taken hat tricks. I think that he, for the Delhi Capitals, this season and probably the next season, could be the most valuable player on these kind of wickets. And I think that investment is something that's going to probably give them the trophy that they've been waiting for such a long time. But I think that was the Delhi Capitals. And
he's also the second highest wicket taker in the history of the IPL, yes, and the most by a spinner, right?
Yeah, he's taken 166 wickets and just below Malinga, and maybe he'll overtake him. So I think definitely Amit Mishra is a great investment. But that's it for us for today in terms of the 4 teams that we had. In episode 2, we'll be discussing the remaining 4 teams and who are their investments over the journey of the IPL and who have they trusted in the most. And that's it from us today, guys. We'll catch you in episode 4, where Sid and I will come up with new investments. And do let us know in the comment section who you think were the investments for your favorite teams. Keep following Cricket Cult, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. But before we go, check the link in the description below for Trade Stars Cricket platform. Go out there and make your picks, invest in your players, and see if your investments give you fruit. We'll see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.